What's going on, people? Armchair Pundit, ACP, back again in the building. Hope everyone is well and you had a lovely weekend. Listen, what lovely weather, man. And keeping all safe in the coronavirus. Listen, I just wanted to go over the weekend's fixtures, do a little review, results show, game week 32. And we had a couple of games. But I'm sure you've all heard by now. You can go in the backdrop, what's going on here. We've all seen the news, right? We've all seen the news, and it is what it is. I did a little video yesterday, and I'm going to touch on that video at the back end of the results show. So let's get into it straight away. Friday, we had Everton versus Tottenham, and as you lot know, I predicted that Everton would win 2-1. And if you saw the game, you would know that there's some controversial stuff. It was all going off, and Tottenham, I think they got a late go. So Everton were unlucky. As I say, I did have Everton to win, but it was 2-2 in the end. So Spurs are lucky. I'm sure you guys, once again, you all know the news by now, you know. News is just coming in thick and fast. This is why the Armchair Pundit became available as a person, because, you know, I tell you what, these guys, you know, they write headlines within headlines, and Mourinho is no longer the manager at Tottenham. He has been sacked, and it's laughable. It's definitely laughable, especially with what's going on behind me and with the result over recent weeks and months. And to be fair, his performance since losing the second, leaving Chelsea for the second time, his performance has been questionable. Everyone knows it. You know, when you got YouTubers and people, I guess, with no technical skill set within the soccer environment, all their badges and all that stuff, and when they're saying he's done at it and he's proving them right, you know, it remains to why I should say he's only good, or do you know what I mean? So Mourinho has gone. He's gone. And as I say, Tottenham drawing 2-2 on the Friday. Unlucky Everton. On the Saturday, we had, you know what I missed, I'll be honest with you, what I actually missed on the Saturday was the FA Cup. I missed the FA Cup. And I'm going to come to that in a minute, because obviously with what's behind me, I'll come to that. But I missed the FA Cup, and well done Chelsea. They beat Man City, so the quadruple's gone. And they can't emulate what Man United done with the FA Cup now. So they can win the Carabao Cup, they can win the Champions League, and they can win the league. They've won the league. With Mourinho now leaving Tottenham, chances are they probably win the Carabao Cup. And it just remains if they can get the big one. I guess they will swap both of those, the league and the Carabao Cup, for the Champions League. So it remains to be seen, but they're out anyway of the FA Cup, and Chelsea march on to the final. On the Saturday also, we had Newcastle versus West Ham. Now, it was quite funny, this one, because I had West Ham to win 3-2. I thought West Ham would win 3-2. As it turns out, Newcastle beat West Ham 3-2. So, listen, well played, Newcastle. I know West Ham had a player sent off, controversial, but yeah, it looked like the right decision. And, you know, as we are saying, you know, West Ham will drop points. I think they will drop some points. It's, you know, they're expected to win that game. It's as simple as that. If you have any ambition to where you are, that's a game you win, especially when you got everyone breathing down your neck. However, they lost. They're unlucky. You know, they have been playing well, and they should be able to bounce back, but we'll see. We'll see. So West Ham losing 3-2 to Newcastle. The other game was Wolves versus Sheffield United. I said Wolves would win 2-0. They won 1-0. You know, Sheffield United, you know, they've had, I can't say much else about them, really. Well done, Wolves. They needed the win. 3 points are good for them. Moving on to Sunday. Again, the FA Cup on the Sunday. I didn't even look at it. And Leicester played Southampton. I said Leicester would win. I watched a bit of the highlights, and Leicester won, innit? So what can I say? It weren't dead that air, I don't think. It was a bit, I guess it was end to end. They had some fans there as well. It was quite nice. But yeah, well, Leicester well deserved. Can they beat Chelsea? I think Chelsea will win it now. I think Chelsea with Tuchel, I think he's just going to get them to win it. You know, first season in, do an Arteta, win a cup. That's it. Even though, to be fair, he's got a lot more experience than Arteta. I'm not comparing the two guys. I'm just saying. Also on the Sunday, you had Arsenal versus Fulham. Now, if you go back to my preview, I said it would be 1-1. And that's how it turned out. Arsenal were just lucky. What do you say? But again, I'm going to come into little things at the end of the preview because I do want to talk about this malarkey in the background. And it was 1-1. Fulham scored. It was a penalty. He stepped on his toe. You can't step on his toe, Gabriel. And he's gone down. It was a penalty. Scores the penalty, and we score in injury time. 7 minutes injury time. I guess when you got a snake in your boot, which is what the keeper had, he went down for a little while. 7 minutes in it. So it is what it is. Nketiah getting the equaliser, and it was 1-1. So lucky us. After, I guess, a high against Slavia Prague, back down to earth with the Arsenal. On the Sunday also was Manchester United versus Burnley. I said Man United would win 2-1. They won 3-1. So I knew they would win. They're in cruise control at the moment. And why wouldn't they be? They've got no reason not to be. They're playing well the second. They're not going to catch City, but they're doing what they need to do. They got good players. They got Pogba there. He's still there. He's probably going to sign the massive deal. So yeah, well done, Man United. Obviously, game week 32 is quite a long one, as we mentioned on Friday. And you've got 5 games left. It goes all the way till Thursday, starting with today. You've got Leeds versus Liverpool. Then Tuesday, Chelsea, Brighton. Wednesday, Spurs, Southampton. Obviously, those two teams have played already. They'll be playing again. Southampton obviously playing in the FA Cup. Aston Villa, Manchester City. And then on the Thursday, Leicester, West Brom. So I'm going to do another show on Thursday. I think that will be Thursday night. And that will consist of the rest of the review shows. And also I'll do my top 6, bottom 6 to see what I go on. Anyway, moving all that out of the way, and let's crack on with some of this stuff. So, as I mentioned, Mourinho's gone. You know what I mean? He's been sacked. And like I said, since leaving Chelsea for the second time, people have always called out his character. A lot of the reasons are to do with this new Super League. So where do you guys stand on the new Super League? What does it mean to everybody? Why is it a thing? Why is it not a thing? For me, personally, I'm like, this has been happening and coming for a long time. It's been coming. Obviously, the Premier League came in for the old Division 1 many years ago, I think 92. And I'm kind of showing my age now because I'm not as some of the younger boys, the millennials, early millennial Generation Z and stuff, they may look at it in a different way. But some of the older boys or the Generation X, baby boomers, they may look at it in a different way. So it depends how you look at it. For me, I've seen it coming for a long time. It was always coming. There were times where I could, as a youngster growing up, I could watch a load of football at home, whether it be Italian or English football. It was always on telly. It was always around me. I could get access to it. And then there became a time in life where it just didn't. It was just gone. There was no more football. You couldn't get it. And it was very Sky-based and very subscription-based. So that came in heavy. And that hasn't left us all the way till lockdown when they were charging us $14.99 to watch, I think it was Burnley versus Sheffield United. So these things have already been here, and the TV companies, all the sponsorships and stuff, that's already been here. It's already involved in the team. Now, what I didn't know, which I mentioned yesterday on my small video, is that in Germany, no third party is allowed to own more than 49% of the club. What a fantastic model. Like simple, basic stuff. This is basic finance, basic, money, basic ownership, basics. Like, because I think with what everybody is saying now is, it's destroying the league and coming into, I can just go into the FA Cup. I think the clubs involved in the Super League, they're going to miss out on the FA Cup. No more Carabao Cup or Coca-Cola Cup, whatever you want to call it. And also the Champions League's gone to pop. And then you think to yourself, okay, so everyone's going to miss out on that. But this is what I mean, going back to basic ownership, what the German clubs have. Because the German clubs said, all right, we know the money's there. We know these foreign investors want to come in and they want a piece of what we have, which is quite normal. It's a normal thing to happen. Like, you got something, I want a bit. Can I have some, please? And, that's kind of how it is. So part of you says, cool, I can give you a bit, but you can't have it all. And the reason why you can't have it all is because I've got all these people over here who own most of it. Yeah, so for me to give it to you, can't do it. That's what Germans say. So they say, right, you can own up to that much because it doesn't give you... Listen, the basics, man. It's the basics. So the fans and maybe some people with money in the respective country only have a 51%. So what happens is in the UK, because I can only talk about the UK, I know Spain, Italy are heavily involved. But in the UK, we don't do that. We say you can buy the whole thing. If you've got the money, put the money on the table, it's yours. Now, this is going back to hundreds of years, 100 years and so on. You're allowing someone with money to come in and buy your club. So as soon as you allow that to happen and take 100% ownership of your club, when this comes up, the Super League, you can't then be like, oh, it's our club, it's a disgrace. It's already a disgrace. The guy owns 100% of your club. You can't. At what point did it become noticeable for you to really be upset? When, you can't be upset. It's too. Moreover, to all of that, all the pundits and talking. Everyone's talking. It's a disgrace. The fans. Those pundits. Most of those pundits work for massive broadcasting TV stations who have been robbing the fans for years. Come on. Listen, man, I just said, back in the day, I used to watch football. It was accessible to me. I didn't go out with loads of money. So what I was able to see on a weekly, daily basis was fair, but I could see it. Now, if you ain't got much money now, you ain't seeing nothing. You'd be lucky if you're allowed to stay up to watch Match of the Day. You'd be lucky, other results-driven shows are available. Big up Ty. So it's been happening for time. This is not a new thing that's popped up out of nowhere. This has been implemented and rolling that snowball effect is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now listening to people yesterday when it broke, and you just think, didn't you see, and then people, the club and the fans, and you just think, but you was paying for games the other day. You're paying. You've nailed down a long time ago, and you're paying various broadcasting TV channels to watch games. You started doing that. So not only couldn't you afford to go to the stadium, and you couldn't afford that, whether it be a season ticket or match day ticket, you had to. You want to watch the game still. Not only do you pay your bills, utilities, you pay your council tax and so on, and you pay for the device, i.e. the telly, whatever, yeah, you now have to pay for the game, which is, as we're now talking about, a family-run club, the fans are important, yada, yada, yada. These are fans that can't get to the game. So not only you got to do all that, you now got to pay. So you have a subscription, and with that subscription, you need a package on top. You got to pay, and then everyone's like, "Oh, the fans," and it's like, everyone, and I'm like, well, we've already been doing it. So let's rein it back in, more over to the point. Rein it back in. You've got a Super League, you've got top 40 teams in Europe. I think there's two teams involved. They all have to leave their domestic cup competitions, and the biggest cup competition being the Champions League if you're in the Champions League. And, you know, that's pretty much where the focus has been pushed to. I believe they're still allowed to be in their domestic league competitions. Remember, everything's still up in the air. All we do know is this is happening. That's all we know. The variables in it, I'm not 100% sure. From what I understand, from what I've heard, what I've read, it sounds like you're allowed to be in your domestic league. Obviously, you've got to leave all cup competitions because you'll be in the Super Cup. And the talk of the town is if you're in the Super Cup and you play for your country or your national team, the respected FA of the specific country is going to now say you cannot play for your country. So you can play for the actual domestic league, to my understanding, but you can't play for your country. Or maybe they're going to pull both and say, well, you can't play for your league, can't be in your country, you're not in the cup. So I'm thinking, on one side, I'm like, well, if that, all right, let's say they do let you play in your domestic league and you're in the Super Cup, but you're not in no other tournament. And depending on how it goes, you may or may not play for your country. How does that stop domestic football being crap? Because I guess you can't play the top 7-10 teams who you once did play, i.e., you know, your Arsenals, because I'm an Arsenal fan. How does that stop that process still going? Like, how does Leeds versus Newcastle all of a sudden become a shit game? Players coming from ground roots, still playing, still want to play. How does that? Is that now a shit game? Just because they're not going to play Arsenal? Is it now a shit league then? Yeah, because I guess you could look at it similar to when the Premier League started. That's how it was looked upon. If you go back to the baby boomers and the sleep generation, they'll tell you. They'll be like, well, when we were doing that 40, 50 years ago, we were upset then. But no one gave a shit. It was what it was. The Premier League came and you started buying games on TV. So now it's happening again. Where's the disturbance and where's the energy coming from to be upset? We've been doing it anyway. So I don't get it. I also don't believe that it's going to really sort of undermine the National Football League in this country. You know, the original Premier League, the Championship. I don't think it's going to take anything away. I think people already know that your neighborhood and where you're from, and you know, be proud of. I think that's already embedded within our country. So I don't think it's going to change just because the Super League's there. The Super League is a whole other audience anyway, because if Arsenal get to play at neutral venues around Europe, then you're going to get a whole host of people who may want to go with their families and sit there and eat prawn sandwiches, as Roy Keane once famously said. And that's it. It's 50,000 people. Whether it's the die-hard singing racist chants, that's another story. And I'm not suggesting everybody sings racist chants because they don't, but you know what I mean. So that's another story. So I still think they'll fill seats, bums and seats. However, with the deals that they've got and the partnerships that they're about to get going, they're not even going to need bums on seats. You know what I mean? They could have drones for all they care with cameras on them that, you know, from your house. If they want to, they can do what they want. Because the money in that Super League is huge. But I don't believe it will completely wreck what we have already. The Premier League, the Championship, and so on and so forth. How is it going to wreck it? Kids still want to play football. Kids are still going to be good or not so good. Competition is still going to be rife. It just, I guess it brings it home in a bit more. Allows everyone to reflect. Moreover, it can allow everyone to, you know, more area-based, which is what COVID, sorry to bring it out, I didn't want to bring it out, but that's kind of what you know, in terms of businesses. And, you know, we've just gone through the Brexit. You know, it would allow everyone to continue making relationships at home and making where you're from important, which is what is a good idea anyway. So I can't see how it's going to deter football and all of a sudden, just because a couple of clubs have left, allow it to be a complete farce. Now, if you support one of the big six or the big eight, as it may be proposed, that are going into the Super League, and you're not happy with them going in the Super League, I don't understand how you can be confused that they're doing it. Because, as I said, the ownership was done. Your club was sold ages ago. The club was sold. You know, they sold the club, and I'm an Arsenal fan, and I used to work down at Stamford Bridge many years ago. This is before the Russian came in. Before he came in, I was there with Gianluca Vialli and Zola, when Zola was manager back then. And as soon as my man came in, Abramovich, you could see the change. You could smell it. It was a massive change. And you knew, you know, you started seeing Crespo's and all these players, Mutu, you know, that guy was high. But you started seeing all these things happen. And it happened so quick. He bought the club and the money came in. No one was complaining. Everyone was, you know, and people even today would say, like your Cities, like your PSGs, you know, that, you know, you bought the league and da-da-da. But the fan who's now like, oh, I can't believe Chelsea are going to do that. It's like, well, when you was winning the league, it was all right. You know, now he's like, actually, yeah, I'll sign that. It's cool. Now you want to be like, oh, it's a family, the fans. It's like, well, you didn't think about it. You can't have it both ways. And that's my thing. You can't have it both ways. Arsenal fans are being vexed anyway because our guy, he's come in and he ain't spent any money on us. So, well, he has, but he hasn't. So we've just been upset anyway. We're just genuinely pissed off. Do you know what I mean? So listen, who knows where it goes from here on in? Who knows? As I say, bring it on. The Super League, as I keep alluding to, bring it on. It is what it is. I don't think it deters what will happen, you know, in our national leagues. I don't think it will. Obviously, it's going up a level because you're going to have every so often Arsenal versus Real Madrid, Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid. That's going to come around more often than it used to. So that will change. The money in sponsorship, partnership is always going to be great. TV deals is going to go through the roof. And that's it, really. That's kind of it. So, yes, culturally, a lot of people are going to be rubbing their eyes and stuff like that. But you have to understand this has been happening a long time. So it makes me laugh when you just like, now you're mad. But he's owned your club for 8, 9 years, 10 years. He's owned it, and his only interest is to make more money. That's why he bought it. So an idea is an idea, and we all know the best guys that make all the money take the biggest risk. And you know, unfortunately, there's a massive disruption behind them because that's what a risk can cause. Listen, ACP, Armchair Pundit. As I mentioned, Game Week 32 is slightly longer. It ends on Thursday, so I'm going to do a show on Thursday night. That's after the Leicester West Brom game. And yeah, man, like, subscribe, comment, all the rest of it, all that good stuff. And I'm going to see you guys very soon. Peace out.